I'm going to make the mozzarella stuffed caprese burgers. This is the recipe card. It tells you everything. You can do it as 2-person or 4-person. So you can. That's why it's split into the smaller packages. Didn't realize that, because they actually have the recipe card made out so you can do it as a 2-person meal. The prep time says 10 minutes. Cook is 35 minutes. With the chicken, I found as long as you followed the recipe card and you're doing things simultaneously like it said, it did take roughly the amount of time that the recipe card said. So that seemed pretty accurate with that. So on the back side, it gives you the step-by-step instructions. The first step of this is to preheat the oven to 450 degrees. Wash and dry all the produce, which I already did. I did that before starting the video. Cut the potatoes into 1/2-inch thick wedges. Toss on a baking sheet with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. 4 tablespoons if you're doing 4 servings. And then half the Italian seasoning, along with some salt and pepper. That's one of the things that they do not include in the package, is the salt and pepper. So that's something that you have to have yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting these potatoes. Probably won't include this whole thing, because who wants to watch me cut potatoes for 20 minutes? It won't take that long. I think I'm cutting those a little bit bigger or smaller than 1/2 inch. Guesstimates here. Once all your potatoes are cut up, you're going to put some olive oil on basically a cookie sheet. Put some on both sides. I'm going to kind of mix that up so that they all kind of get coated. And then you're going to put half of your Italian seasoning on it. Since I'm doing a 4-serving, I use half, which would be one of the packages of Italian seasoning. And salt and pepper I'd put over it. Salt and pepper, again, is something I have to have. That's something that does not come in the pack. Most of the seasonings you're using come with the stuff. In a nice convenient little pouch. You're going to just kind of sprinkle it over all of the fries, or potato wedges as you would call them. I'm trying to make sure they all get a decent coating over them. I'm going to kind of mix them so I can try to get it coated good. Trying to keep it all in a thin layer so that they're not on top of each other, so that they cook evenly. I do like how everything kind of comes pre-packaged like that. Like I said, it creates a little more waste, but it does make the prep process a little bit easier than having to measure everything. So once that's done, you're going to put the salt and pepper over it. I've got some Himalayan pink salt that I'm going to use. And I've got my fresh ground pepper. I really need to replace this, so I'll get more. We're running kind of low. Gonna put it in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes in the oven. So this is gonna go in the oven, and then we'll start the next steps for the recipe. Okay, so while that is roasting, we are going to slice our tomato into half inch thick rounds. So again, we're doing 2 tomatoes for this recipe. They might not be exacts. Tomatoes they could have used to be a little, or used being a little bit riper. They're a little bit unripe, especially towards the ends there. But, can't be choosers, right? And then in a small bowl, you combine the mayonnaise, sour cream, and half the pesto. We'll use the rest in the next step. And season with salt and pepper again. So, we need give me that look. Mayonnaise, sour cream, and half the pesto. Sour cream. And this is your pesto. So we're just gonna guesstimate what half is because it says half. So I'm just gonna basically scoop about half of it out. That looks about right. And then mix it. That's right. And we did say salt and pepper. I'm already assuming we're not going to have that much pepper because It just isn't coming out very well. It looks much greener on their end. I'm going to add a little bit more of the pesto. Not much more. I guess it's just not as green as I thought it would be. Now we can set that to the side. And in a medium bowl, I've got a fairly large bowl, we're going to add the beef, the rest of the Italian seasoning, and the rest of the pesto, along with salt and pepper, and kind of mix all that up. One package of beef. Again, if you're doing just 2 servings, you would just use 1 package of beef. And the beef that they send is 85% lean with 15% fat. So not horrible beef. There. We get a package of the Italian seasonings. And then our pesto, which I'm not so worried because we're going to have to mix that. Kind of mix that up. You could probably use a spoon or something. I'm just going to use my hand. Trying to spread out the seasonings because they were all in one spot, kind of. Spread it all in so it's not just 1 or 2 burgers that get the seasonings and nothing else. I did. You know, I used to have non-ground pepper and I can't find it. So, until then, we gotta just use the ground. Something I found with season or with the salt, a lot of times there's extra in there. But again, we'll mix that up a little bit. Then we're going to form it into 1/2 inch thick rounds, each one. So we're going to do 1/2 inch thick rounds. So essentially, you know you're making 4. So I'm going to try to divide these kind of evenly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be relatively close to even, I think. I think the first one is the biggest. But how much do you take from it? Just a little bit, because each one needs a little bit. That one needs the most, I think. Okay. Now you're going to divide the mozzarella between the burgers. So since we have 2 bags of the mozzarella, we're going to use 1 bag for every 2 burgers. So we're just going to kind of do that. I'm going to hollow out the center a little bit. Cut the whole bag. Now to me, it seems like we don't have near the amount of meat that I would think we would need. But then once you got that in there, you're supposed to kind of try to close it off. These are going to be very tiny burgers in my opinion. My boys are not home this weekend, so this was like the perfect opportunity to try this because I didn't need to get more food because it's just me, my husband, and my daughter. So last night's dinner we did that chicken. I really enjoyed it. My husband really enjoyed it. He actually finished off the last leftover. So the serving sizes were pretty good, actually. None of us were hungry after we ate our serving. And there was one serving left. My daughter said it was good, but weird. So she kind of didn't eat all of hers, but she said it was good. I don't know. I don't know how to translate child's language for good and weird. So that one I think was a hit. I would definitely cook it again. I think even my boys would eat it. It wasn't too weird in my opinion. Even though my daughter says it was good but weird, it was not too weird. It was a good recipe. Cheeseburgers are kind of a safe bet. What child doesn't like cheeseburgers? Heck, who doesn't like cheeseburgers? Now, because these burgers just to me seem kind of small, I'm not going to end up using all this mozzarella, I don't think. They sent 2 bags, and I feel like I'm only going to use a little over 1, or maybe just 1. Because if I were to put half a bag into each of these burgers, I wouldn't be able to close it. So I don't know. That's my opinion. Now yesterday's recipe, we basically used everything that it came with. We had a little bit left over of the chili flakes, but that was like an optional. You didn't have to put it on there. So to have leftovers of it, I don't consider that like they overdid it because it's something that we didn't have to put on there. I would have liked a little bit more beef though for the burgers, just to make for a little bit more room in making these. But these are recommended serving sizes, so there's that. I could probably put a little bit more cheese in the center of this, but I really don't want to open up that little bag for a couple pinches of cheese. That doesn't seem like a very wise or smart move or needed move. Once we close it off and everything, I think there's plenty of cheese once it cooks. So they're all closed off. There's cheese in the middle of all the burgers. This one might be a little bit smaller than the rest, but they're pretty close to the same size. The next step, you're going to season the tomatoes with salt and pepper. Heat some olive oil on a skillet or pan, and You're going to cook it over medium-high heat. Cook the tomatoes over medium-high heat until lightly browned, 1 to 2 minutes per side. I did so good yesterday at listening to, well, I was setting timers for everything, huh? I does not want to, and this one I just guesstimated. It seemed like it was in there for a minute, but I think it might have been flipped a little too soon. Whew. The biggest thing I notice when I'm cooking these is they're getting very, very soft. I'm not going to wait much longer because some of them are kind of falling apart when I touch them. And I don't want that to happen. Like that one. You're cooking all that moisture out. I think some of them I cut a little too thin. They were supposed to be like 1/2 inch thick, and I think I might have went a little thin on some of them. I turned it down a little bit. At this stage, you would toast or cut the bread that it came with as well and toast it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that while those cook. I'll go ahead and flip them. Those burgers are looking amazing. And now we're at probably, if we're not counting the prep time of cutting the stuff, because they say 10 minutes of prep, cook time, we're probably somewhere around 30 minutes. They say cook time is 35 minutes. So I'd say that's pretty accurate because the burgers are just about done. The fries are just about done. I'd say 35 minutes is pretty accurate for cook time. That's been 4 minutes on that side. I'm going to just see how the other side looks. This one didn't get as cooked as some of the other ones. So we're going to kind of rest these off the heat, put this more in the center of the heat for a minute, because it says 4 to 5 minutes each side. So we're going to let them cook just a little longer because we tend to like them more well done. I can't wait to try these. They do look very good. I did just toast 3 of the buns because there's only 3 of us are eating. Which is a good thing because my husband does work tonight, so that leaves him with something to bring to work tonight. Put that side just a little bit longer. Let's check on this one. I'll just put them just a touch longer. Because I do know that my husband and my daughter both prefer them more well done. I'm okay if they're a little bit pink, but if they bite into a more pink burger, they're going to be like, what the heck, Ma? Well, I'm going to say that these should be done. Ready to rest. You know, when they rest, they cook a little bit more too. So we'll go ahead and put them on the plate and let them rest a little bit. They look very good. Perfect thickness. I cannot wait to try these. I'm going to turn off the heat. And the potato wedges look amazing. They say 25 minutes for them. I think I cooked them closer to that 35-minute mark. Maybe I cut them a little thick. That's a possibility. Maybe I didn't put enough oil on to begin with. I did add more oil a couple times. But now they're done. Now they look good. So those took about 35 minutes. Like I said, it took probably about 30 minutes to do the burgers completely. So about 35 minutes was accurate. So our cheeseburger is all made up. It's got the tomato on it. It's got the mixture that we had to make with the pesto or presto or whatever. Cut it in half just so I could show you the split. But there's our split. Cheese all in the center. Perfectly cooked through burger. I can't wait to try this. Feel very close to the camera, but let's taste test this. It's not excessively different from a burger, but it does have a good flavor. It does taste good. Can't say it's bad. Both meals we got from HelloFresh were very well done. And easy enough to make you look like a good cook even if you're not. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry I didn't get the chicken recorded. Camera just didn't like me. But it's good. Price is a little bit high. I'm still contemplating. I'm contemplating because I do like the meals. Hope you guys are having an amazing night. Catch you on the next one.